Fisch is a game inside Roblox that was very popular in 2024, with it reaching over 1 million players in a single moment during one of their biggest updates. Fisch was popular for many reasons, such as its calm scenery, simple gameplay, and progression. Many players fell in love with this game, however, they were destroyed, and I mean dropping to an all-time low of 10,000 players. However, in September 2025, Fisch made its revival. To fully understand its revival, I will be discovering and investigating the truth behind Fisch's revival inside Roblox. But before that, I would like you guys watching this video right now to do 3 things if you like Roblox game content. You should like this video, subscribe to my channel, and comment what you think about Fisch at the end of the video. Now that you've done that, let's talk about the truth behind the revival of Fisch. To give you some context on its initial downfall, let's start at the start of 2025. Fisch was a calm game to play. You could compare it as if it were Grow a Garden where progression didn't matter as much. This is what made Fisch fun to play. It was for every kind of player who played Roblox. If you were a casual player, that's fine. You wouldn't be held back a ton if you could not progress inside the next update. However, for hardcore players, yeah, they were ahead in money, but still, it was good enough to make casual players happy too. Imagine being a casual player who just wanted to relax, catch some fish, and hang out with some friends. You log into Fisch after school, and then suddenly your favorite fishing spot is blocked by a giant pop-up asking you to buy server luck. Or picture a hardcore grinder who has been spending weeks trying to get mythical fish only to see someone swipe a credit card and get it instantly. Even new players joining after the revival felt the ripple effects. Comparing Fisch's peaceful vibe to the other chaotic Roblox games, it made its downfall sting even more. These perspectives made players feel deeply disconnected to Fisch's fate. Additionally, Fisch and the original owner promised it was never gonna be pay to win, because how could a fishing game could ever be pay to win? Because the closest they had was pretty much flexing bigger and bigger fish. And boy, everyone was wrong. The owner of Fisch sold the game to Dubig Studios, who nowadays is considered to be one of the worst Roblox studios on the platform, and that's because of what they did to Fisch. Well, to give you some context, Dubig Studios had 2 other games. After owning these games, they subsequently were destroyed. First, it was a Dusty Trip, who the current owner of Go a Garden made. This game was fun in the eyes of many players, but then Dubig Studios bombarded the game with so much pay-to-win features and game passes. And if you look closely, there's tons of these scattered across the game. Second was Blade Ball, and if you were playing Blade Ball back then, you would know that it was very popular at the time with over 100,000 players. However, it died as well because there were so many pay-to-win crates that it looked like a casino inside Roblox. This wasn't just a Fisch problem. Across Roblox in 2024 to 2025, dozens of games fell into the same trap. Start strong, sell out to bigger studios, then drown players in monetization. It's the cycle that the Roblox community knows all too well, which is why many players brace themselves for Fisch and how their downfall started at that moment, where Dubig Studios took over. Dubig Studios was pretty much expected to do the same for Fisch, and that's what led to the downfall of the game. You see, as soon as Dubig Studios got their hands on Fisch, they added this feature called Server Luck, one of the most pay-to-win features to ever be added inside a Roblox game, as when you buy this luck, the price would also subsequently increase. And hey, who wouldn't want luck, especially if it gave you such a massive boost? But it gets to a point when you could literally get over 1,000 times luck that would cost you over thousands of real-life American dollars. However, keep in mind that this feature was only pay to win if you needed a secret fish, because for some reason, if you had over 64 times of luck, your chances for rare fish would go back to its original state. So if you had 128 times luck, you would have fewer chances of getting mythical fish, which is pretty much a complete scam. But it was so pay to win that your chances of getting secrets were incredibly higher. Players would often compare this to mobile gacha games where higher spending didn't always mean better odds. Roblox had seen its share of loot box controversies, but Fisch's system was so broken that it felt like a parody of gambling mechanics. This wasn't fishing anymore. It was a slot machine with water in the background. However, this scam was not only just from server luck, as Dubig Studios added this thing called limited packs. Packs that have different skins, boats, and other items that you could have inside the game. However, the real scam was this stock system. You see, you could buy limited item packs where there is only a limited amount of stock. And of course, since you expect that it's limited when the stock is zero, that means there's supposed to be zero. It's what made limited buy you in. But Dubig Studios said no. After one of the items reached zero stock, and since it sold out almost immediately, they added over 5,000 extra stock to one of those packs. And they just basically said that, nah, you just get scammed and you'll get no compensation. And keep in mind though that these packs or that item was literally $50. And it doesn't stop there, as if you remember what I said about game passes inside Play Ball and Dusty Trip, they added so many more game passes inside the game that are now permanent, so that means that they can't remove it in the future. Sometimes it's even required to get these game passes to progress in the next few updates, and one of the laughable ones being the ability to sprint. This is why Fisch lost so many players at the time. This marked a breaking point and where casual players left first, frustrated that their fishing sessions are now required with purchases. But then the hardcore players left too, realizing skill and grinding the game didn't matter anymore. By summer of 2025, Fisch's community was a ghost town pretty much, a textbook case of how to kill a game. With such terrible practices by its key owners, and as we look at the Roblox platform right now, I found it surprising that Fisch got revived. It returned from the dead basically almost overnight, so of course I just had to make a video about it. Although what truly happened was that Fisch got its original owner back. You see, Dubig Studios was not making good money anymore, especially with the huge numbers they lost. From 100,000 players playing every single day, there were only around 10,000 left. Of course, with no one buying their pay-to-win features that they add every single update, so pretty much the only solution was they had to let go of the game and give it back to the original owner, Woozy Nate. This guy right here was the original owner and creator. However, he was one of the core reasons for its popularity. He was not selfish, he did not want money, he just wanted to create a game that many people can enjoy. Woozy Nate's return felt symbolic, like a phoenix rising from ashes, and the community thought were long cold. Many players described it as Roblox finally giving them hope again, proving that creators who actually care about their communities can still win. With Woozy Nate's return, one would expect that despite this game, it would be dead of course. Who would like to play a dead game with less than 10,000 players? Word spread around YouTube, TikTok, and across other games as well that Dubig is gone, that Fisch was released. Everyone thought that, hey, why not just try the game one last time? And with this came the first update that Woozy Nate released. The game came back with less drama, more hope, and players supporting Woozy Nate for hopefully a better update. And on October 5, there will be this other update, so I'll probably make another video about that. Although the release from their captivity from Dubig Studios was not the only reason why Fisch got revived. There was just no way. And the reason for this was their actual removal of one of its key features, C2. Because you see, C2 was one of the worst additions inside Fisch. It's what really hit the nail for everyone inside the game to leave. It got to a point where Fisch lost over 100,000 players in the first 3 days of that update. This was because they were trying to copy off another game called Blox Fruits, where they also had a bunch of Cs, around 4 if from my memory. However, not everyone wanted to reset their progress because starting again like a beginner in C2 was basically grueling. And when they removed it during that update, a massive number of players actually returned, which is a massive number considering that they lost a bunch of them in the past. Not only this, but they also started to do admin abuses, which if you don't know how admin abuses work, they are basically admin-controlled events where they give random player buffs, which is a good thing since it's learning from the likes of Goa Garden, who pioneered its popularity across every single game. Thank you, Jandal. This shift toward community-driven events showed a new direction. Fisch wasn't just trying to copy off other games anymore. It was basically embracing its own identity, built around randomness, fairness, and fun. It was less about chasing numbers and more about recreating the spirit that made players fall in love with the game in the first place. It didn't just stop there, as some very big YouTubers who built their fan base off Fisch have returned to try the game out. This is also what led to its spike in popularity, around a 60,000 player increase to the point that we see today. With reaching over 100,000 players, it's basically a revival, especially cementing them as one of the best games inside the platform once again. With the number of players returning to Fisch, it has been projected that they will be able to reach around 250,000 players inside their next update, which is actually insane. From being one of the worst games on Roblox at 10,000 players, it now sits at one of the best, and not only that, they also did the impossible. Anyways guys, this is pretty much the end of the video, and again, if you like Roblox content, just please subscribe and like this video as well. And of course, in return, I'll try to keep pushing out content for you guys. Anyways guys, until the next upload, goodbye.